This is the Intermission Podcast.
We want to get to know our homeboys and homegirls and invite you into our space.
It's a whole mood of positivity.
The Intermission Podcast.
Welcome back to the Intermission Podcast, The Break with Your Homegirls.
This is a quick little homegirl check-in.
That's it. And y'all know how we do. It's roll call, baby. This is me, Jessica E. Williams, aka CEO J Will on IG.
And I am Jessie Denise.
And I'm Ivana.
And that's roll call, man. It's real simple. And then we want to hear from y'all. We got to incorporate y'all into the roll call. You know what I mean? In the comments, let us know your name, where you from, not your address. You know, we want to keep it safe. But you know, let us know. Right. Keep it safe. Where are you coming to us from? We want to know what's going on. So listen, we still here. It's still quarantine.
Yeah.
I mean, I was mentally prepared for this, but it's still like, wow, we haven't improved at all. If anything, things are worse.
It's worse
than they were before. No one has plans, and everyone is confused. Everybody is trying to figure out this life. Because you remember in quarantine conversations, we said, we don't know, man, the shutdown might become a way of life. And here we are, and it's still a way of life. It's still a thing because I don't know what these people are doing. They just
They don't know what they're doing.
That's why it's kind of ridiculous to be watching the news. Like my family is a family that like tries to stay on current events, but every day I'd be like, why are you watching this? It's just more of the same. They don't know what they're doing. And they keep talking like they know what they're doing. They have no idea.
I've been watching Different World and Golden Girls. I checked out.
Just check out.
I'm like, well, the news needs to check out for a minute.
That's true.
Give the scientists a week or two and then come back. Like, stop it, because y'all sitting here reporting about stuff that's just like, yeah, we know. All right, someone didn't wear their mask. Okay, you know, like they're over here reporting off of Twitter stuff now because they ain't got nothing else to report.
They have no news. They won't let the news.
I ain't got no news.
They won't let life go on long enough to actually have things to report. Aside from it's just more of the same. It's just recycled news stories. People are reopening when they shouldn't. They want to send the kids to school. Everybody knows it's dangerous. Like, we don't care. Blah 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 blah. So,
not to mention, there are so many other things happening in the world.
So many
that are just getting brushed under the rug. I listen. The University of TikTok is the best because that's where I stay up on the most current things that are happening in the world besides the COVID. And that's the only reason why they're trying to shut that app down. Because people are coming through with the knowledge. They are coming through with the real history of things. They are coming through with the facts and the receipts. Okay.
I like it.
They're coming through. That's why when people were like, delete TikTok, I was like, no, it ain't doing nothing but spreading knowledge. And they don't want that.
They don't want that.
So, I mean, India's already banned it, but I'm like, y'all, it ain't doing nothing.
They have 1.3 billion people, though. They always be trying to figure out how to keep them people in line. You remember at the beginning of the COVID, I sent y'all that video? They was the people with canes and open face slapping them to get them in the house, making them do push-ups and calisthenics in the street. Like, get in the house. So I'm not surprised that
not at all.
No TikTok. We don't want it. We don't like it, which is funny. So yeah, man, we just wanted to just come and show our faces, let you hear our voices. We are live. We hope you all have been enjoying Men Are Trash. Let me tell you something. We've been dragged thoroughly for this topic, not just by random people that we do not know, because we have had random men just feel like they could pop off and say what they want to. But we weren't raised.
They haven't watched it,
right? Which makes it clear they haven't watched it. But also in the spirit of AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, we were not raised to accept abuse from men, so cut that foolishness. But other than that, Facebook has come for us. IG, they're like, you guys are violating our hate rules and our community rules, and we're like, yo, this is not. It's not.
I have a warning on Facebook now.
It's like they're just trying to kick us out of the community. So This is supposed to stimulate conversation. We are not coming for anyone's life unless you are staying in the trash or staying near the trash. Then we might
Then
have
we
something
understand
to
why you be
why you would be why you would be in your feelings and you might feel some type of way. But we're not trying to be harmful. We're not trying to be like rude to people. We just some of y'all think like that though. That is the mantra of your life, that all men are trash, period. And that's just not the case. So listen, watch, learn, and then come with your feedback. That's all we ask. Don't just
And that's like where the assumptions come in, because Facebook, because they read whatever they use, read the men are trash.
a bot.
Yeah, a bot read men are trash, because that phrase, I guess, is banned on Instagram and Facebook. But it's like, okay, but that we're not calling men trash. We're actually trying to help them not be trash. We're not bashing men, but you're assuming that that's what we're talking about. That's what we're doing. So it's like, these bots aren't really, very helpful, because
they don't understand nuance.
But that also lets you know, dang, the bots and the people, all they do is we skim so fast.
Scroll.
We see a heading and we keep it pushing. Like, you want to open that and actually read that first? Like, that's why, like, you got
people who sorry.
You ain't got nothing but time. Go ahead and open that thing.
Open it.
And read it before or don't comment on it.
That part.
Right. That's like the people who repost articles without reading them first.
Articles, right? And they be 4 years ago.
But did you read?
You gotta check the receipts, fam. You gotta go read the article and look for receipts.
Yep. Especially in these days and times when there's all manner of fake news and crazy information floating around. You want to make sure you're not a part of the spread of misinformation. And it takes 2 seconds. Start reading dates on articles, read through it. Somewhere in there, someone says, this is a joke, it's not real. Read the first part of the comments. Yeah.
If you read the website, sometimes you can tell, like, this ain't website.
.net, get the heck out of here.
Get out of here.
Some of these
every year, whenever Lena Horne died, every year
people post that. What is that? And I'm like, didn't she die already? Like, is she dead? It's wild. And that's just a good critical thinking skill to have in life, right? So that you don't get played out here or be spreading misinformation or just get things wrong. Just check the facts, check the receipts. Just check it.
But people want to no. They want to be entertained, and they don't. And they want to be entertained.
Right. They see something that they agree with, and they run with it. And you're like, oh yes, this fits into my box of my ideology. So I'm gonna spread it everywhere. And then you open up the article, and it ain't nothing.
It's nothing.
Trash.
Yeah, some of these are satirical sites. Like, people just be taking things seriously, but it just shows that we live in such a polarized world where people, like you said, want to have things that fit their worldview, their perspective, their little box. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with challenging thoughts and ideas, but do it respectfully and then do your research. Check it out so you don't end up in some foolishness.
I feel like nail shops and hair salons and stuff are being punished for people going to brunch. Because I feel like...
Say that again for the people in the back, please.
I feel like hair salons and nail shops are being punished by the people going to brunch and having parties and being around a whole bunch of people. Because me going into my nail shop, just me and my lady with our masks on, because my nail salon, I didn't go, which I wish I would have now. They're closed again. My nail salon's already clean. It's very clean. It's already an appointment only place. I mean, you can walk in, but they rather appointments. And so it's already a very immaculate place in the first place. And so they sent us an email like, hey, we're opening up on June 26th, blah, 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 blah. These are our procedures. And there was a long list of procedures for you to come and get your nails done. You had to wait in your car until your time, and then they would come get you. You had to have on a mask. Like, it was if I did want to go get my nails done, I would have felt safe going there. But it's the people going to brunch and gathering and ha-ha and kiki and pool parties. I done seen people have more pool parties and baby showers and birthday parties. And I'm like, even when I went to my friend's engagement, I had on a mask. my two friends that I was with, we all had our masks, and we were like off to the side, like waiting for them to get there. They had been in the house with their 3 kids since March, and they were like, "Oh, we're free. We have our kids for 3
Yes.
months."
Mm-hmm.
They were like, "Wait a minute, this is the first time without our kids." That was hilarious and one thing, but then people were there with no masks on, just chilling. I was like,
What's happening here?
"Get this show on the road." And so they did the engagement, kaka, kiki, take a picture, click, click. I'm out.
Bye
I'm gonna see y'all
bye.
later. But people were just, I'm like, y'all, everybody out here with no mask on. There was like maybe a little of us who had them on. And I'm like, y'all, this is serious, you guys. Like, it's not a joke.
Not a joke.
It's gonna keep being punished. People who shouldn't be punished are being punished because of the people who can't follow direction.
Exactly. Very simple directions at that. And it's one of those things of like, as much as we, of course, want to be on the road to economic recovery, you know, there's a lot of young people out here just being disrespectful, being ignorant, acting like this is not a thing. And that's why their rates are shooting up, because they out doing their thing thinking they can't catch it. Like, we're young, we got young immune systems. But as we've said multiple times on the show, you could be good, but you could take it home to someone that will not be good. So, exercise and use that wisdom, because it's important.
Well, girl, I know some older people that are doing it too. I'm like, hey, you nasty.
Not nasty.
And when I tell you they be out, I'm like, oh, I don't think I can talk to you no more. We can't kick it, homie. Cause
Nah.
Because y'all be doing the most. They're like, I'm just tired of being at home. Okay.
Like, guess what? All of us are. But as long as you out, then some of us got to stand it. Was that you, Vaughn? Or was it Kevin on stage? You might have reposted it from him. But you were talking about this is why we don't do group projects, is because
it was Kevin on stage. Yeah.
Somebody does all the work and people don't. Like, this is a group project and America is failing.
We're failing miserably.
Some of us are about to get A's, but a lot of us are getting F's. But it's a group project. So it's graded on the curve, or like we're going to meet in the middle. But that does nothing for those of us that are doing the work. So
yeah, I saw this kid's TikTok yesterday. I don't know. Maybe it was this morning. I have no idea. And he was like,
"What is time in the quarantine?" Nothing.
It was like a round table of all the countries or whatever. And all the other ones were like men or whatever. And he got to America and he had a wig on. And it was Karen. We were the Karen of the COVID.
We're Karen.
It's like America's the Karen of the COVID. I was like, oh.
That is absolutely true. This is modern history, current, as we are continuing to sojourn through health crisis, pandemic, the loss of our grandfather, John Lewis, C.T. Vivian, soldiers in the struggle for civil rights, but we're going to keep it pushing. So it's just a lot of things going on. So we just want to talk through those things. We're going to talk to you guys about our personal lives, because we just want to catch up, check in, let y'all know what's going on with us, see what's going on with y'all. That's it. Nothing major. Easy breezy.
I'm getting attacked by trolls on TikTok, and
that's where you should start. Since we on the TikTok, tell us about it.
Yeah, I got the TikTok, and I got family stuff that stabbed me in the throat the other day. But so I had this video, right? that I posted on the TikTok. It literally went from 4,000 views to 50,000 in 2 days. Went viral on TikTok. And it's so stupid. It's talking about, it's one of the popular songs or whatever. And I labeled it when I'm waiting for what I say? Like, when you're waiting to have sex until marriage, but then your man
shows up in gray sweats.
Shows up in gray sweats to pick you up, right? And it's the one like doom, 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 doom. So I'm looking down like at the gray sweats or whatever. And so I've had 2 people try to come for me. Hold
on. This is for the people on the YouTube. If you can see it, this is what it looks like on the TikTok. So
we'll be posting on our Instagram too.
Yeah, we'll post it. We'll post it on the Instagram too, but just so y'all know. Okay, continue.
And so I've had 2 people come for me with that video, right? And they're both men. I had so many women that were like, sis, oh my gosh, thank you for keeping it real. I'm in the struggle. And like women encouraging each other, like, we can do it. We got each other's back. We can hold, like, all the women are in the comments, like, bigging each other up and like, oh my gosh, thank you for keeping it real. This is so funny. Ka, 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 ka. One guy comes, because y'all see me, I'm drinking water. I'm drinking something all the time. I'm always drinking something. I'm a very hydrated person.
Stay hydrated.
That's why your skin look like that.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so when I started the video, I really was drinking my water, and I'm an actor. So I had a whole scene in my head. Like, I'm drinking my water. He pulls up. I see him. And then that's when the scene starts, right? So one guy goes, yo, you need to chill with the water bottle. And I was like, what? And so I went to this page. It was a white guy, Christian white guy, Jesus lover or whatever. And so I replied to him and I put question marks. And I said, your mind went there.
Exactly.
I said,
a personal problem. No. I knew what he meant, but I said, that's more about you.
And that's exactly what I said.
About you.
I said, oh, your mind went there. I was like, yeah, bruh, that's all you. So maybe you should check your spirit. I said, I was literally drinking water when the video started filming. And he erased his comment. Because I was going to reply to him too, the way I replied to this guy from today or yesterday. And so he erased his comment, whatever. Fast forward to yesterday or like middle of the night. I don't know, I'd be up weird, crazy hours.
Weird hours.
And so he replies that I shouldn't be making crude jokes and that I needed to repent.
He took it to the repentance. Can I stop right there? Let's just pause there. If your name is not the Holy Spirit, we need to have you stop with telling people to repent.
And I have no relationship with you.
Don't know you at all.
Why are you trying to come for me and correct me? As he keeps saying, he has commented so much on my TikTok, going back and forth with me, and I'm going to keep going back and forth because the more you comment, the better my algorithm is, and the more people are going to see it. So I'm going to keep replying. I'm going to keep replying. Normally, I would have stopped replying to him by now, but I'm going to keep replying because you're just helping me out. So thanks. So now the video has almost 60,000 views. And he's still commenting. He's at the point now, he was like, I'm not going to argue with you. You don't like correction. You're prideful. He's calling me all these names. I'm like, sir, you don't know me. You don't know what I stand for. I wrote a whole book about being pure and keeping yourself and having self-respect. Like, you don't know me at all. I said, and all the women in my comments who are finding accountability and support, I was like, God knows how to use my personality and my comedy for his people. I was like, so he knows how to use me, and I do it because I know the Holy Spirit. And he's been going back and forth like, God's not going to use you in this way. How you know? He used the burning bush, bro. How you tell me? I was like, go away, Pharisee. I was like, go away. Don't come over here. He was like,
you tell him a Pharisee?
He is a Pharisee. He's a Pharisee and a Sadducee. Absolutely.
Did you
I did. I did twice. He's like, you don't even know what that means.
No, you don't know what it means, sir.
So he tried to call you stupid too? Stop.
He's been going back and forth. And so then Shelly jumped in it. Other people I don't even know jumped in it. Like, everybody's like, so now, after he done said, I'm not going to argue with you.
Like, now he's your daddy.
Now he's tagging his homeboys.
Oh, I love it.
Now he's tagging his boys, talking about, am I wrong for calling this out? Like, why do you feel like you even need to call it out? Like, why is it? I said, no, sir. I said, a woman, a black, this guy's black. The other guy's white, this guy's black. I said, I'm a black woman. You're trying to shut me up for defending myself. Yeah. I'm sitting here talking back and forth with you, like, not defending myself, but like, stating my case,
right? And
you don't want to hear what I have to say because you think that you're right and you don't want to hear what I have to say. I was like, I'm tired of men trying to shut women up, especially black women. But this confirmed my conversation I was having with Jesse the other day, because I was like, I don't think my husband's going to be extra churchy.
He can't be.
Because I like, somebody like, and that's the exact example of, that's who I mean, like a man like that. If I cannot be myself and be who God has authentically created me to be, I know what's crude, I know what's too far. I know there are some songs I like on TikTok, but I will not do them because they have too much cursing or they have too much, just vulgarity in it, whatever. Is that the right word I was trying to look
No,
for?
vulgarity is correct.
Y'all know what I mean. You know what I mean? So there's some songs I'm like, oh my gosh, that would be so funny if I did XYZ, and then it'll keep going. I'm like, oh, or I can cut it off. I cut it off before it gets to that part. Like, I know what to do and how to conduct myself as a Christian woman.
Mhm.
That video I posted is a very real scenario. So you're trying to say us being human beings is sinful?
Mhm.
That's
Yes.
real. That's a real issue that, the women had with the gray sweats. And us not talking about, us not talking about our struggle and us not talking about how we sin is not making it go away.
Like, that's not made for him. You know what I mean? It was made, the women who responded are the people who it was for. And that's who you had in mind when you created it. Like, the internet is a big place. If it's not for you, bro, keep it pushing. But you don't need to come around like you somebody's daddy, you telling people to repent. Like, all of that is highly inappropriate. And again, in the spirit of AOC, I would categorize it as abusive behavior for men in a spiritual setting.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you ain't nobody's brother in Christ, which even then that's loose because you're still a stranger. Like, so what? We're of the same faith, but you're a stranger. You don't know her personally. Like, you can't come at her like that. Like, you have no relation to just be coming at people like this that you don't know. But that's the internet. It like leaves the door for people to feel like they got access to say whatever they want to say. So,
Right.
bruh, just do better, fam. Like, if it offends you that much, just go do something else. Go away.
Right.
Now, you also had something else you wanted to share with us. We talked about it a few days ago, but it is still such a traumatic story. Because I think that we all know this as people of color in our bones, but when you're like actually confronted with it in real life,
Yeah.
and it takes on another emotional toll. So,
Well, when you're actually confronted about it in real life and you've always had to prove your blackness anyway, as a Black woman, that adds an extra layer to it. My aunt, we have a family tree on Ancestry, my dad's sister. And so she's been doing an amazing job, like going as far back as possible on my grandma's side and on, my grandfather's side. And so when she found our fifth great grandfather. I don't even know how far back that is, but it was like 1800s. And so she finds this picture and she goes, hey, this is our fifth great grandfather. And she sends the picture and she sends his name, and it said Raleigh, North Carolina, which we know our family's from North Carolina on Graham's side. And when she sent the picture, it was 3 white men, which I know I got a lot of weight in me. I know it. I be acting like I don't, but I know I do. I know. Like, in my ancestry, I was like 33% white. I get it. I know. But I identify as a Black woman. Like, that's just been me my whole life. So I look at the picture and there's 3 white men, North Carolina, 3 white men. I immediately start crying and my eyes start tearing up because I was like, I know they had slaves. I find his find a grave. I find his father and mother's name, which his father was 22 and his mother was 12. And then, so I give his parents' names to my aunt, girl, and she goes back 3 more generations to England. And then she finds the 5th great grandfather's will. And under items, there are people listed, Black slaves listed under the items. And I had a whole, I'm about to cry now. I had a whole breakdown. Like, I don't know if I come from them, if they made it with the Black people, if they raped the Black women, if that's where my family line comes from. We're still trying to find, that part out. But to know that, like, I had a member of my family own slaves, as pro-Black as I am, it really had me like stuck for a minute because I was just like, and then I'm watching Different World, and that episode where Whitley found out her grandfather owned slaves, and I was like, I feel you, Whitley. I feel you. Like, it's crazy and it's traumatic, and it's like, it was like, that's how it felt. And I was just like bawling, crying. And I'm like, is anyone else in my family, like in our family group chat? I'm like, are they? And because there's a lot of things, like, I'm the lightest person on that side of my family. So I always just all the layers were affecting me. You know what I mean? That day. And I was just like, but my Nana, who's, I guess, great grandfather this was, she was very fair skinned too. Graham's mom. And so it's just like, yo, like somebody, like I know for a fact, because when I had family from North Carolina, I always assumed they were Black. I didn't think that was the white side of my family. I knew I had a lot of Irish in me because I have Irish on both sides of my family. So I was never like, that was the one thing I wasn't shocked at with my ancestry test. I was like, I actually know where my Irish comes from, because somebody tried to come for me for that too on my ancestry. They were like, you gonna promote, because I had a teacher that said, kiss me, I'm 17% Irish, which ended up bumping like 20 something percent. And I was like, he was like, you're promoting, you bragging about your people being raped. And I was like, no, my great grandmother Connie was Irish. Her husband was Black. Sorry, I know exactly where my Irish comes from. Like, I knew that before I knew anything else for sure of what was in my blood. Sorry, bro.
I can't people mind their business.
Right. So it was just very traumatic, and it was very it was just shocking, because I was like, where does that put me in the movement? Because my people owned our people, but I don't know. That episode of Different World ministered to me the other night. So
it ministered to you. I'm gonna say it puts you where it always puts you. Here's the thing about all of this. As much as like, yeah, when you told us, we were all like, yo, because it's all theoretical until you actually see the person's face. And like, I remember when you sent us the picture, I was like, oh no, like they're like the slave masters of your nightmares. Like they look like just dirty, grungy, like just
angry old white men.
Like, no. And I think like on a subconscious cellular level, like we all know that, but when you can like actually see the person, and then you see Black people's names listed on a piece of paper in someone's dying will and testament as property, like that's a lot to take in. And then when you think about, you know, the fact that sexual assault was like, I know people like to romanticize it, like because now being mixed is like a thing and it's cool, but for a long time, like the one drop rule was like a thing. Mm-hmm. It was like, if you have a drop of Black blood, you're Black, and like black, not like, well, you know, we're just, you know, it passing, and colorism and all of those things all stem from, you know, the chattel system here in America. And once they couldn't go capture slaves anymore and bring them back from Africa to work the land, then they started breeding to make more slaves. So, you know, we talk about rape culture now in the Me Too movement, and like, again, I don't want to be controversial, but like that was about protecting particular women's sexual freedoms and such, and protecting their, you know, sexual purity. Tarana Burke is an amazing advocate, and of course she's a Black woman who was fighting for Black women and Black girls, and then Hollywood got the wind of it, and it became a lot about other people's sexual, you know, purity and protection that weren't Black. So no shade or tea to that movement or Time's Up, because I think they're doing great work, but we have to reconcile with that. And I think that, you know, I just thought about that, Vaughn, even to have a white man specifically talking about that water bottle, like that's a triggering thing to be like, you know what I mean? Now having this information to be like, you could have really went off on him. You know what I'm saying? To be like, that is all ingrained in your psyche at a cellular level. You know what I mean? To know that rape trauma is a part of your history, and to see it on paper and to see the pictures, and like you don't have to know all the stories, but you can put it together, that you just immediately had emotional reaction to be like, rape is involved somewhere in here and I'm gonna cry about it. Like I just know that. So it's like you're still Black, like, and that's why I said, as much as we tried to sort of like reconcile this, we got mixed dish now and like all these things that are great, like I'm happy for the mixed kids that they got their own movement, but that's a relatively new thing, to be celebrating interracial love and interracial kids and interracial marriage, because that stuff was illegal. I just want to remind everyone, like, illegal. Like the Lovings in like the 50s, I think, were like the first couple like that was recognized as a interracial marriage. But I mean, that wasn't always trendy and cool and like as dope as it is now. I was like, it was problematic and it came out of problematic means. So, girl,
To see it on paper, I was like,
it's a lot.
because I remember I had an ex that we were like in our 20s, and he used to be like, yeah, I tell people you have Puerto Rican. And I was like, why? And he was like, and I was like,
because
what?
it's more palatable, so people don't have to think about that type of trauma.
And I was like, no.
Not Puerto Rican though.
I'm Black. I'm Black. I am a Black woman. If you see me on the street, I am a Black woman. I might get mistaken if I have some different hair in my head by something else, but I am a Black woman.
And the Puerto Ricans are Black, so we just wanted to point that out. But
my son is Puerto Rican, but he is Black.
But he's Black. And it is because it's easier not to think about the stuff, and as we're again doing the cute cosmetic stuff like changing Aunt Jemima in the master bedrooms and all that cute stuff, it's like, and taking down statues, which isn't cute, that's actually powerful, but it's like you gotta be honest and real about this stuff. These are the type of conversations we have to have. Right now, all of us have a white side of our family. We may or may not know about it, but they're out there. Like we have white cousins just as much as we have Black cousins. It's just, if you grew up in a country that had slavery, which was everywhere, especially the transatlantic slave trade specifically, it just depends on where your people got dropped off. But it is a thing that we all have to contend with and deal with. So,
right. And I've never had a problem because my family is so mixed up. Like,
right.
Everybody married to stuff. Like my family looks like a rainbow. So that's never, race and color and all that stuff has never been, a big thing in my family. It's just whatever. But like, I've never been someone that's like run around saying I'm mixed. I got a Black mama and a Black daddy. Like, my grandfather is Native American, but he would go off on somebody who thought he was white. He would go off on people if they thought he was anything other than a man of color. You know what I mean? But I have Aunt Muriel on my dad's side, who I remember one day my sister was like, "I mean, you could have passed for white," and she went off. She went off on my sister. She was like, "I never passed for white," because she could have, but she was like, "I never passed."
Yeah.
Was my grandma's cousin. She was like, "I never passed for white." We were like,
because at the time that was dangerous. You know what I mean? It's like, it's one of those things we watching the movies now, but like, that was dangerous if you were, a woman who was dating a white boy, passing for white, and then they found out you was Black. Like, that's the thing. Even same thing.
Imitation of Life, my movie. I love that movie.
Imitation of Life. Men that were doing that.
You're in the back alley.
Yeah, for that generation that the John Lewis's and C.T. Vivians, and like my dad, like people who grew up in the Jim Crow South, like you did not play about that. Like that was, they could kill you, they could rape you, like it could be a whole level of things. So, we make colorism this cute thing, but it costs a lot of people their lives, man, and a lot of bad things happen because people were trying to figure out how to survive in a world that was literally black and white. And that's not even taking into account all the other people of color. Like America has always been a melting pot. So, that's how you have immigrant groups now. Not that I'm trying to Nick Cannon myself, but immigrant groups now who have taken advantage of this made up whiteness that they have in America. So they came over here from Europe. You might not know that they're Polish or Jewish or Irish. Italian American or Irish. They're just white over here. And so that means what it means. Now, before we got over here tough, they was, it was the Irish, like they had a hierarchy within whiteness. But then when we got here, they was like, well, we just gonna put all that on them. It's like, no, that's not cool. So we all have our things to work through. America's clearly working through a lot, but thank you, Vaughn, for sharing. It's still a lot. It's still heavy to hear.
I was debating if I wanted to share it out loud to people in public. I was like,
that's the thing.
I don't want anybody to know that.
And at least because like for us, like, as people of color, it's like you want to know where you come from, but like a lot of that is rooted in pain. It's like as much as people wanted to, be mad at the Killmonger character, like that's where this comes from. By the way, like a lot of us was like, he has a lot of points that I actually agree with. Because it's like there was nobody to fight for us. Like everything we fought for ourselves. It's great that the diaspora is coming together now, but we have all those traumas and things that we have to deal with. So I'm glad but
thanks. Because when I did my ancestry and I saw the whole like West Africa part, I had a meltdown that time too. Because I was like, my ancestors survived the boat ride, they survived
the passage,
they survived all of that. But then to see possibly, that the Negro woman that was listed, or there was a Negro child listed, who knows which one, because obviously my fifth grade grandma was 12. So
that's a whole nother discussion for a whole nother time. What was the age difference? What was it again? It was how old?
12 and 22.
Okay. So it's a different,
or 6, maybe it was his parent. Child.
It's a different time. People still be out here trying to do that. Not cool though, but yeah, that's a whole thing. Yeah, and I think it's one of those things where we all want to know where we come from, and as much as like ancestry is like in now and a cool thing to do, it's like it's not so cool for all of us. you gotta emotionally contend with some things.
The side I'm trying to find, my mother's grandmother was adopted. She was on a reservation, and when she moved off the reservation, they kind of like, they kind of just like shun you once you move off the reservation. But she was also adopted, and so, and my great grandfather was Black, and so I'm trying to find people I keep finding people on my grandfather's side, my mom's father, and I'm like, I'm trying to find people on Nana's side.
So she's a native who probably grew up having a Black experience, which is a whole other thing. Yeah,
well, she grew up on the reservation. My grandfather was born on the reservation, and then they moved off. Her and my grandfather, my great grandfather, and the 2 boys, my grandpa and my uncle. So once they moved, they were like,
peace. Yeah, that whole reservation life is a thing too that we don't talk about enough. But once you have that side, then we'll come back and we'll hit the native conversation, because and pray for them, man. They doing real bad in the COVID. They've always had a hard time.
Women are missing, and
that's actually been going on for a long time. That Native women are just disappearing. Yeah. They have the highest suicide rates. It's just it's bad. So keep the natives in your prayers, because people are always trying to just forget them. But at the end of the day, contrary to popular belief, this is their land.
They're the North Americans. They're the Americans. They're the Americans. Period. North
just
American.
Saying. Why everyone's out here trying to make America great again, and it's not even your country to make great. Wow, that was deep. Hard, but deep. So that concludes part 1, and we hope you'll come back for part 2 of the Homegirl Check-In. See you soon.
We'd love to hear from our homies, so feel free to email us at intermissionhg, as in homegirls, that's intermissionhg@gmail.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram at intermissionhg. Until next time, this has been A Break with Your Homegirls.